Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar focused on sustainability certifications and finding the best one for your brand or business. I'm Molly Hughes with Softly Solutions. Today, we are featuring the Leaping Bunny certification to aid in cruelty-free shopping. We know businesses are trying to strengthen their connection to their customers, and there's so many of us that are concerned about animal testing and wanting to buy products that are cruelty-free. Yet shoppers are skeptical of non-verified sustainability claims, which is one of the many reasons why an eco-label such as Leaping Bunny is so important. These certifications build trust. Furthermore, there are certain eco-labels that qualify you for programs such as government grants, as well as for retail sustainability programs like Amazon's Climate Pledge Friendly and Wayfair's Shopping Sustainably. We stay on top of all of this at Softly, so be sure to follow us to stay up to date on all these opportunities. Okay, so for this webinar series, we have a great list of certifying organizations that we're going to be speaking to over the coming weeks, including gluten-free certification on May 11th and the US EPA Safer Choice Eco Label on May 18th. So you are in the right place if you're a business considering certification, or if you're just wanting to learn a little bit more about the process. Okay, so at this time, I would like to introduce today's guest. We are super excited to learn about the Leaping Bunny program. With us today is Kim Paschen, Program Manager with Leaping Bunny. Kim is joining us live from the Netherlands. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you so much for having me, Molly.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. Okay, let's start by learning just a little bit about you, Kim. How did you get involved in Leaping Bunny?
Well, I've been program manager for the Leaping Bunny program since 2015 or so, but I started working on the program back in 2010 as more of like a marketing communications person when Facebook pages really started coming onto the scene for brands. And I really just started to build the brand through communicating about all of the great things that our certified companies were doing. And at that time, back in 2010, we had just a few hundred companies on our list. And today, I'm really proud to say that we've certified over 2,400 brands to be cruelty free.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about Leaping Bunny, the organization itself. Obviously, you've grown a lot, but what's the history behind it?
Sure, that's a great question. Leaping Bunny was actually formed in 1996
Mhm.
by a coalition of animal protection organizations in the US and Canada. And it was called, and it still is called, the Coalition for Consumer Information on Cosmetics. And this group of animal protection organizations runs the Leaping Bunny program, and the day-to-day operations actually sit with one of the member organizations, the American Anti-Vivisection Society.
Mhm.
And so it's been there since 2007. And really, the Leaping Bunny program was created by this coalition to essentially mitigate greenwashing. Companies were starting to recognize the benefits of labeling their products cruelty free, but in the US and Canada, there is no legislation that requires a company to back up their claims on their labels. And so companies can essentially, even to this day, put anything they wish regarding cruelty free or no animal testing on their packaging or in their marketing materials. And the result was a lot of confusion around this subject because
Mhm.
there was no third party that was able to verify exactly what was going on.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the leaping boat, bunny logo or mark now is very recognizable. I think everybody's seen it. It's considered the gold standard when it comes to cruelty-free product certification. So why is this mark so important to shoppers? I know it's to eliminate greenwashing, but also I'm assuming it's to bring just awareness that there still is animal testing that goes on today.
Absolutely. Our mark actually has many purposes. The first of which, obviously, is so that consumers that are shopping can quickly check to
Mhm,
see if a product is cruelty free or free of animal testing. But really, this is something that goes beyond that because we want to change the paradigm. We want manufacturers and suppliers and companies making finished goods to really see that there are other ways out there of creating safe, effective products without the use of animals.
mhm,
And we've done that over the past, 25 plus years. I think that's the right math. Really by promoting these companies, so that by increasing consumer awareness, they can really see that there are so many companies out there that are free of animal testing that are making amazing products.
mhm. So if I'm a company and right now we're using animal testing, do you help find alternatives that they might want to look into that, that they can still get those same kind of results?
Well, we certainly have partner organizations that really specialize in that. One of
Mhm,
that comes top of mind is IIVS, which is the Institute for In Vitro Sciences, and they
mhm,
can really help companies determine what the best course of action is regarding alternatives methods without using animals to make sure that a product is safe and effective. We really do keep our focus strictly on verifying animal testing claims. A lot of
mhm,
people have asked if we're, a vegan certifier, and the answer to that is no. We
mhm,
really focus on those claims because right now there exists no sort of legislation or laws anywhere that really say that companies must adhere to a certain standard if they want to put a claim for cruelty free on their packaging. So we are that third party source that really helps to provide clarity both to consumers and to companies. And it's something that we don't actually charge for. So any company that's listed on either our website or our app is certified by us free of charge. And that's something that is really different for us versus other certification programs because we do offer this free of charge to companies.
wow. So what a great offering that you have. So I know that a business that works with you has a declaration or some sort of standard that you ask them to sign. Let's talk through that.
Sure, no problem. So, our standard is really called the Corporate Standard of Compassion for Animals. It can be found on our website. So, if you're really interested, it's all right there for you to read. But essentially, when a company becomes certified, they themselves must fill out an application for approval. And that really gets into the nitty gritty of their manufacturing practices, where they sell, what their history is, and they must most importantly choose a fixed cutoff date. And that fixed cutoff date is unchangeable. They're not able to change that to a future date to circumvent animal testing. It really is something that needs to stay with them. And that fixed cutoff date means that after that date, no new animal testing can occur in that company, either in the finished products, the formulations, or the ingredients. And so the company that wants to apply for certification must do all of that, but then they also must obtain individually signed declarations from all of their ingredients and or manufacturers. And all of those must be on file in our website portal for each company. And it's really important that that is updated every year. So we do require all companies that are certified to annually recommit to our program to make sure that their supplier monitoring system is always up to date. And we also every year do about 20 to 25 independent audits done by an auditor And that auditor actually takes a deeper dive into a company's supply chain management system.
Okay. So there is an opportunity, and some companies will be audited if they're making this claim. Going
Absolutely, every year.
Yeah, going back a little bit, you talk quite a bit about the legislations and the laws, and that there aren't any right now, and so you've taken it upon yourself to basically monitor and guide consumers this way. Are there any is there anything that you know of coming down the pike when it comes to legislation or laws regarding greenwashing or saying something you know that isn't true on product labeling?
Well, I do actually want to clarify my statement that I made earlier
Mhm.
because there are laws in individual states right now that do prohibit animal testing on cosmetics, such as in California. And I believe, well, I think there's like 13 states total. And more are coming on board. So when I talk about a law, I guess I mean a federal law. So there is no law in the books either in Canada or the US, and even with these laws, there are loopholes. And so, if a company, for example, needs to test their products elsewhere in the world because of their regulations, it's still allowable. So there definitely are ways to still have animal testing slip into the process. And that's why, that's great progress. And we hope to see more states get
Mhm.
on board with their individual laws, which will hopefully then put pressure to pass a federal law that would ban animal testing once and for all in the US and Canada. But for now, really the best way to be sure that a product is free of animal testing is to make sure that the company that sells the product is Sleeping Bunny certified.
Got it. So let's talk just a little bit, go back a little bit and talk just more just about animal testing in general. We heard so much about it, in the 90s and probably about when you guys were, coming about. Has it gotten better? How bad is the problem today?
Well, the problem is actually hard to really quantify because most of the animals that are used today are mice and rats, and they are not covered under the Animal Welfare Act, which
Mhm.
means that their numbers, the test subject numbers, are not required to be reported. So it's actually quite difficult to ascertain the huge scope of animal testing going on. I can tell you that animal testing really does not happen anymore at the finished product level. It's mostly now at the ingredient level. And there are threats in other countries. For example, the EU has a piece of legislation called REACH. And that piece of legislation actually requires animal testing on some products that are only used in cosmetics, and that, even though in the EU there's a cosmetics ban that's been in place since 2013, this piece of legislation actually um, it surpasses
Mhm.
the cosmetics ban, and so it essentially can require animal testing on ingredients only used in cosmetics. And so, while we have made great progress in the field of alternatives, and certainly over the years, there's a lot of data sharing so that different companies can make use of prior test results, there is still this ongoing threat of animal testing in places where it really wouldn't be expected.
Hmm. So I think what I'm hearing loud and clear is if you're a business and you're sourcing your raw materials or your ingredients, to make sure that you really check into where you're getting these raw materials and ingredients, and verify that they're not doing any animal testing.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So, you talked a lot about cosmetics, and that's kind of how you started. What other product categories are a good fit for Leaping Bunny?
So we certify companies that make cosmetic products, personal care products, so things for your hair, your skin, your teeth. And then we also certify pet products, baby and mom care products, and then a big one that I really find particularly incredible is household products.
Mhm.
So cleaning products, things, laundry products, and that is one area that I personally made a huge switch over when I started working for Leaping Bunny, and I'm astounded at how you can clean with more natural ingredients and still have the same effectiveness or better without having all the chemicals.
Yeah, I think we've come a long ways because there was a time period that you'd read something and say, it says, hey, it's environmentally friendly or no animal testing. And people were worried about the efficacy of it. Does it actually work? And sometimes I think very early on, it probably didn't as well. But if there's anybody out there that kind of feels that way, I really urge you to try some of these products now because we have made so many strides, probably more than anything else when it comes to products that really work, laundry detergents, household cleaning products, things like that. So
Absolutely.
I think that's a really, really good point. Um, so, you mentioned that there's no cost for your certification, and I think that is such an amazing offering. How do you guys do that? How do you offer this without a
Well,
without?
that's a great question. And the reason we don't have a cost is because we don't want our companies that we've certified to be viewed as like members where if you paid a fee, you would automatically get certification.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so we really do want to offer it for free. The Leaping Bunny program functions like almost a nonprofit. It's chaired by a nonprofit, AAVS. And, AAVS actually financially supports quite a bit of the Leaping Bunny program through its own 501(c)(3). But we do have our member organizations, both in the US and Canada. We have 6 member organizations right now. They pay dues to be part of the Coalition for Consumer Information on Cosmetics. And then we also do have the optional logo licensing fee. So a company can be listed for free at all times on our website and in our app. And we also have a really great suite of different marketing and promotional opportunities that all companies are able to take part in for free.
Mhm.
So that's all at no cost to companies. If they did want to license our logo, which is a trademarked entity, they would pay a nominal fee. And so we do earn some money from our logo fees, but our logo fees never go above $4,500. And it's a one-time fee per company. And most companies pay $500. So we're not exactly earning a lot of money through that
Mhm.
channel either.
Mhm.
But AAVS really is the main supporter
Mhm.
of the day-to-day operations of Leaping
Mhm.
Bunny.
Got it. So if there's anybody out there that's listening to this, if you have a question, please feel free to put your questions in the chat and we will answer them in just a little bit. So I know we talked about what products are good, for a Leaping Buddy certification, cosmetics, cleaning products, a lot of personal care products. Are there any that are just off the table that you don't certify?
So we don't certify anything like heavy duty, like paint or industrial type things. But otherwise, you know, personal care, cosmetics, and I would say the regular household products, even like car cleaning products. We have some car cleaning companies as well. So all of those things are eligible for certification. And when a company does their initial application, we do screen them to make sure that they're manufacturing products that our standard covers. And everything is outlined very explicitly in our standard, what is and what is not certified.
Oh, okay. Is there any specific industry, especially recently, that's really driving your growth?
Well, I would say right now, and certainly from the last 6 or 7 years, the indie beauty industry is just incredibly strong.
Okay.
It's a whole industry in and of itself, and it has really revamped the way that we look at personal care products. These indie beauty companies are nimble, they're innovative, none of them want to animal test, and
Mhm.
they're making use of really unique formulations to get incredible results.
Hmm. Neat. So, on that note, let's take a look at. I know you do things to help shoppers be more compassionate shoppers. You've developed an app, a free shopping app. So, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're really proud of our app. This is available for iPhones and Androids, and it's free to download, completely free. It is updated every 24 hours, and that is a huge feat for us because it used to only be updated 1 or 2 times a year. So you can imagine that a list would be pretty out of date pretty quickly with the number of brands that we're certifying. But
Mhm.
everything is tied directly to our website, which is actually updated in real time. So a company could be added today that wasn't there, or this afternoon that wasn't there this morning.
Right, right.
And also, if a company, for example, closes or chooses not to recommit, then we remove them immediately. So our list is always very up to date, especially
Mhm.
with the recommitments that are required. But shoppers are able to download this, they can use it in the store, they can search by either the name of the brand or by, like, if you're in a store and you want to look for something that's like toothpaste, you can search by like tooth care
Mhm.
or mouth care, and then you can find the different brands listed. And then we also have scanner functionality, so you can
Oh,
open up the app and then scan a product's UPC code, and you can see if it will is certified or not. And we're continually updating
you can just
the app.
take your phone while you're at the store and actually scan it.
That's right. Yep.
Oh,
And
neat.
so, and like I said, this is updated every day. So you're always looking at the most up to date list of cruelty free companies on your phone.
Yeah, truly the beauty of technology, right? To be able
Oh
to
my
bring
gosh.
things to consumers in real time. It's
Yeah.
awesome. So, okay, so I'm a company. I say, oh, geez, this is a great fit for me. I want to be certified. Um, I know you had that declarations at standards page that we showed earlier, but what else do I need to know about actually, getting the certification? What's the process look like? What's the timeline? Things like that.
Well, everything is done right through our website, which is super
Mhm.
convenient for companies. Even the declaration requests that are sent to the manufacturers and the suppliers, all of that is done through the company's portal on our safe, secure website. So it's extremely efficient, and the back end in terms of our admin processing applications is also really, really easy for us to go in and make changes. Companies generally, we try to, once a company has completed their application, we try to process it very quickly. The holdup with a company not getting certified quickly usually is with the signing of the declarations. Because if a company, for example, manufactures their own products and has 30 different ingredient suppliers that need to sign our form, if the company that's applying is really on top of, checking to
Mhm.
make sure those declarations are signed, the process could drag out. And so
Right.
we always encourage the companies that are in the application process with us to keep on top of who's signed the declarations and who hasn't. But then once you're approved, you are, on our website. You can upload pictures of your products. You can create your own brand message. You upload your logo, and all of that then is appears on the front end of our website and also in our app. So a lot, all of the information that's provided is really from the company itself. And it can be updated at any time if a company has a logo change or something. But one thing that is a little bit different is if a company decides that they want to sell their products domestically in mainland China, where animal testing can still oftentimes be a requirement. And so, since 2021, China has allowed imported cosmetics to come into the country and be registered without animal testing, but the companies really have to follow a specific set of guidelines in order to circumvent the animal testing requirement. And companies that are interested in this would actually have to go through a separate process called the Leaping Bunny China Qualification Program, which we just started last fall. And we had our first company, Burt's Bees, actually successfully register to sell domestically in mainland China and avoid animal testing. So this is a bit of a complex process. There are some really in-depth audits that are done both in the pre-market and post-market environments, but
Mhm.
it's just to assure that no animal testing can or does occur.
Hmm. Yeah. So Burt's Bees, I just have to put out a quick kudos to them because they are usually, and I should say always, the leader when it comes to paving the way with sustainability. We've heard it over and over again when we're talking to organizations such as yours. So just to kind of clarify and go back a little bit, um, when somebody makes the declaration, they're making the declaration that their entire product line is free. So once the company is actually the one that's certified, and then their products go under it. So you can't say, hey, this product we don't do animal testing on, we do on this one. It's an all or nothing kind of thing, correct?
That's right. That's a great point. I'm really glad that you brought it up. So, all products that are covered under our standard in under a brand
Mhm.
must adhere to the same standard. So, you can't pick and choose. And also, the suppliers and manufacturers that are providing you with either raw materials or finished formulations must sign that declaration saying that all of the ingredients or formulations that they provide to the company seeking certification are free of animal testing after that company's fixed cutoff date.
Mhm.
So they can't just
Mhm.
have, one formulation that is tested, one that isn't. It all has to be free of animal testing for that company.
Yeah. So I'm assuming this is also a way to hold companies, maybe startups that are wanting to exit and sell their product eventually. That if they want to sell it to somebody that has made this declaration, they also have had to have abided by it. So I think it kind of just it's a trickle down effect that helps everybody out there. We do have,
Definitely.
yeah, we do have an audience question. Are there any countries that do not recognize Leaping Bunny?
Oh, that's a great question. The Leaping Bunny logo is actually internationally recognized. So it's not necessarily affiliated with any particular country or government. It's
Right.
more for a consumer level. And so, you know, Leaping Bunny certified products can really appear anywhere in the world. And I
Including
think
China
that's
now, right?
fine.
Including
Absolutely.
China. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. And then another question. I know animal testing is problematic, but has it gone down due to your efforts? We've talked a little bit about that probably since this question came in, but um, yeah. So anything else you'd like to add on that?
Yeah, well, we always say that, in this realm, consumers can vote with their wallet. And what we've seen, at least in my tenure at Leaping Bunny, is that consumers are really asking for products to be free of animal testing, and companies are listening. And so there's definitely that factor, but
Mhm.
also the increase in alternatives being used, the development of alternatives that are validated, that can really perform better than any animal test out there, that are safer, cheaper, faster. Um, those have also really come into scope now. And so companies are able to still innovate with new formulations, but they can test for safety and efficacy using these newly developed non-animal methods.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Um, so I was just thinking about something. You had mentioned earlier when we were backstage that you lived in the United States for many, many years, and in Philadelphia and Wisconsin. You're now in the Netherlands. What is tell me a difference, like a consumer's perspective when they're looking at Leaping Bunny or animal cruelty? Are you seeing a big difference between countries?
That's a good question. I actually wanted to kind of get a bigger scope or a broader picture of the
Mhm.
European landscape now that I live here. So I went to like 10 stores just to kind of see what was going on with brands. And
Mhm.
I noticed definitely that vegan certification here is really, really, really important. And it's on a lot of the packages.
Mhm.
Um, I I think that the indie beauty industry really the United States is sort of the hub for that. And so you have a lot more variety in the US. You have a lot more stores that are catering towards the, the indie beauty industry, the eco-friendly
Mhm.
industry, than I've seen here. And I know that I'm in a country where we don't have Sephora. So it's hard to, I don't want to,
Mhm.
generalize for all of Europe. I really can only speak for my experience here, but I definitely think there's a much wider variety of brands available in the United States, like in a store. You can still get a lot of brands here
Mhm.
online, but I think that the movement is a lot more advanced for the awareness of brands in the US, just based on, and I have no actual data to back that up.
Mhm.
This is
Mhm.
merely just my experience of having lived in both countries now.
Yeah, interesting. So, it's interesting that you also brought up the vegan certification because we actually talked to one of the first vegan certifiers out there, and they're actually, I'm pretty sure they're in Italy. So it kind of makes sense that maybe Europe, kind of brought that on a little bit before the United States. So I think we covered most everything that we needed to today about Leaping Bunny, and people got a good overview. I thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add that we didn't touch upon, Kim?
Not really. I just think that if you're looking to make a difference everyone loves bunnies. Everyone, I think most people out there agree that animal testing on cosmetics should not be happening.
Mhm.
And they don't know how to make a difference. And I really want to say that every individual out there can make a difference. You can start small. You can, use up your shampoo now, and then the next time you have the opportunity to buy something, you can choose differently. And it's not just making like huge global overwhelming changes. It's just the little things that really can drive a much bigger change.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. We are going to give Kim's contact information in just a bit. So we appreciate all the great information that you shared with us, though.
Oh, it was
So,
my pleasure. Thank you,
yeah,
Molly.
yeah, thank you. Research shows that just as convenience has become a basic consumer expectation, the demand for transparency is quickly becoming the baseline for consumers. Today, we learned how to increase transparency and earn customer trust. And our goal at Softly is to help you with that process. And it's why we're doing these webinars. So you can learn about third-party verification and certifications and really find the very best one for your business. So you can see here, we have a platform that takes the message to the consumer. It's our personal sustainable shopping assistant. You can see that on the right-hand side. It's a free download. You can get it on the Chrome Web Store or at getsoftly.com. We elevate and suggest sustainable products that are certified to be what they say they are to shoppers, and it works right now on Amazon. And then also, I encourage you to get the app that Kim talked about as well. And then here we have information on the Leaping Bunny program. I'll show that in just a second. You can see the website and Kim's direct email. This live webinar is recorded, so this recording will be available later on our website as well. And then here's information on how to get a hold of Softly. We are really excited to announce that we're accepting pilot businesses for our new platform that will simplify the sustainability certification process. We would love to have you be a part of it. So please reach out to us if you're interested. Right now, I'd just like to thank everybody for being with us today. Please join us again. Here's our upcoming schedule. We're booked out well past what you see here. Have a great day, everybody, and tread softly on the world.